PRA.
Feeling like I'm made for this. All the nights I spent off in the spot, oh yeah, I tried for this.
Damn, Spancy.
Feeling like I'm made for this.
Made for this, made for this, made for this. You gotta ask about me, hear me? My reputation speaks for itself, man. Let's get it.
Feeling like I'm.
Hey man, you already know what's up, man. You should have had it rolled up for the shit even loaded up. Cushion Convo, we already in the building, man. I got a special guest with me today. You know how I do it. I don't introduce my guests. I let them introduce themselves because I pretty much know who they is before they get here because I already started finding out about them. But you just now about to find out about them. If you just now find out about them, you should have knew about them already. Tell them who you is, big dog.
Nook Turner, Austin owned, Texas owned, and been rocking out. So been doing music all my life, been fighting for my city my entire life, and just I'm in this, you know, to the casket drop to make sure that things change in the city, things change in the state, things change in the world for our people, and that we make it to Bread City.
Okay.
That's what it's about.
Okay, so I don't want you to jump too far ahead on me, but as soon as you said things change in the city, we're going to make sure we put a pin in that. You know what I mean? Because that's part of the reason that we're here today.
All right.
All right, but first, tell the people how you got your name.
First of all, my whole life, Nook is the only thing my mama called me. So, you know, she never called me by my government name. She always called me Nook. And we ain't gonna get into that,
Okay.
where she was at with that, but that's just what I was always called, my nickname. And in high school, me doing the rapping thing and all of that, I wanted to actually figure out and make Nook have a meaning. Because before I was Nook the rapper, my rap name was C. Darius Rap. And that was for my name, C for Charles, Darius Rap, kind of like Coogee Rap or whatever.
How many times did you change your name as a rapper?
Once I went over to Nook, it was done.
So you only changed it one time?
Well, I made it Nook Turner from Nook.
Okay.
But it went from C. Darius Rap to Nook.
Gotcha.
And so when I was ready to make that switch, because I've been rapping since a kid. I toured with McGruff the Crime Dog. I wrote the Dare to Keep Kids Off Drugs song.
Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Yeah,
So,
see, yeah, you
so
can't,
that was youngster.
you can't skip on that because you do that, then we got to jump into this other stuff too. You know what I mean? We slowly gonna bring them up to speed on this. For the people that don't know who you are, they're gonna be ashamed of themselves if they don't know who you are.
If you're in the city, for real, if you're in the city, yeah.
Alright, so you say you from Austin, born and raised.
Born and raised.
What part of Austin?
East Side 02. East Side 02. Right up the street from 12th Street, raised on 13th and 17th Street. You know, that's my blood. A whole 02, that's my blood.
Okay. Now you say you've been rapping since you was a kid.
Yeah.
When you say a kid, like teenager or like kid?
Nah, kid. My first rap I ever did was called Kelly and Stanley. I was 9 years old. That was my first rap. So I fell in love with rap during the time of it was the late 80s, going into the early 90s is when I fell in love with rap.
So when you wrote that song, is that the song that you used in order to get your buzz, in order to do the Dare and the?
Nah.
Okay.
So
how did you go on tour with McGruff the Crime Dog? Because everybody know who that is. Everybody had Dare at their school, no matter where you're from. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois, and we had Dare.
Okay, so you know what it is.
Yeah.
Nah. So basically, it was a part of my life where we did live on the east side. We was going through hard times. We had to move to the projects in Thurman Heights on the north side. So some of my childhood, I'm good. Some of my childhood was from the north side. And living in Thurman Heights, most of my family was on the east side, so we were separated from them. Okay. And I never got a chance to really see my people. It was a time where, you know, I'm growing up in the hood, and anybody that's from Austin would know that back then, Black Austin and the east side was popping. Like, we was everywhere. It was culture, it was community, it was all of that. And when we got moved out to the north side, I feel like I lost all that. I was in a new hood, around new people, new situations, and I was a youngster. So like the first week we moved out there, I got jumped, and I was getting into fight after fight. And like, you know, I'm from the east side. They wasn't trying to hit it. They was north side. And so
you got jumped your first week?
Yeah, I got jumped probably by about 15 people, and some of them was older than me, way older than me, and some of them was younger than me, and they jumped me. And you know, I tried to fight, but it was out of there. And we ran, and they went and got my mama. And all it was just me and her. By the time she came out there, it was all little kids still out there. So she was laughing at nigga like, "Oh, you got to jump out some little kids." Like, nah, bro, that's not what went down.
It's like the third time I heard you say your mom since we started this interview, and I've been listening to your music.
Okay.
Is that the biggest inspiration you got as far as your music?
Oh, that's everything. So if I tell you to get to the McGruff Crime Dog situation,
Go for it.
me doing music was really at first, when we finally would get relatives to come out there and visit us, I wouldn't want them to leave. So what I do is I start writing and doing skits and concerts, anything to make them stay. Like, all right, we finna leave. No, hold on, let me perform for you. And so that's how I kind of got into that and doing that. And my cousin was getting married. Shout out to Kelly. And I was telling her as a joke, but I didn't really mean it. But you know, I was like, I'm gonna rap at your wedding. And my mama the type person, if you say it, you gotta do it.
You gotta stand up.
And then it was a win-win for her, because then she didn't have to worry about no gift and figuring all that stuff out, because we was going through it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like my mama sat me down. She helped me write the rap. I went to North Cross Mall Recording Studios of America. For anybody that's in Austin, remember that. In North Cross Mall, you can go and pay like $8 and go in the studio and record on a cassette. And so I wrote the song. Me and my mom wrote the song.
Y'all shaking y'all head. Y'all know
They
y'all don't tell me nothing. Y'all just leave me in the dark, right?
We used to do that at Shoe Carnival, had one of them booths in there.
And the booths was a thing. You can get in there and they give you an instrument. You can pick your instrumental and you get in there and you rap. You got one tape and they record it on the tape and then you pay to get the tape. So we did, I went in there and rapped Kelly and Stanley. And then I ended up performing her wedding. And
So Stanley was the dude she's married?
Stanley was her husband at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was my first rap ever, Kelly and Stanley. And from there, I realized that music was my voice. People would listen to me if I do music. And so that translated to everything I was going through, everything I was seeing. I'm an only child, so I would go in the room by myself and just write anything I was dealing with. And that was during the time when the crack epidemic was killing us. That was like when the gangs was like at an all-time high. Pretty much they had us engineered to where black people that was the beginning of us being in the situation we're in now with gentrification and being fucked off. But during that time, I would just go in there and write and write and write. And like I said, we was residents. We lived in Thurman Heights. And I watched my mama actually go from her being a resident to her being the president of the apartment complex to then her graduating and becoming the district manager of housing authority in the whole area. And so I watched her go from the bottom up. And so, you know, we struggled. I mean, we was at the point, it was times we didn't know if we was going to get food. I lived in Salvation Army getting clothes.
I heard when I be listening to the music, like I say, the pain
Man.
and the reality, when you can turn on something and it look,
Yeah.
I just got them right now.
Yeah.
That's why I say, when I was listening to that scene, and you talk about Salvation Army, but you cleaning them shoes every day,
Man.
and your classmates at a private school is looking at you like, oh, he balling, he got bread. They don't know, because no, people don't understand that about moms. Because when I heard you talking about your mom, it made me think about my mom, bro. Like, no matter what struggle you ever go through, you're never going to down talk your mom, your parents, or anything, because you know, as a parent now, you know what them struggles was.
Yeah.
What they really went through in order to get you to where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say I hear it in your music a lot, bro. So that's another reason why I want to make sure I got you up here to give you your flowers. But you got to finish telling me. Man, look, yeah, see, I get lit, but I don't forget.
Nah, you saying that? I already know you listening. You saying stuff I said in that song, so
Yeah.
I know what it is. But my mama realized that, you know, she could take me to the different complexes, because her job was to go into the projects and help clean them up, help drop the crime, help make it better for the kids and all that. And so I got the opportunity to actually go with her, because she ended up managing Meadowbrook, Georgia Manor. You name some of the most gutter projects in the city, my mama was the manager at one point. To the point she even made the newspaper and got notarized by the city, because she went and cleaned up Meadowbrook. It used to was called Murderbrook, and everything that was going on, and she went in and cleaned that shit up. And so she would take me with her, and they would have these community events and all that, and she would have me come up and rap. And being that I was already into entertaining, I already was writing, and I had a passionate voice because of my pain and what I was going through, it was very relative, and people started actually rocking with it. And so she utilized that to the point I made K-View Child of the Week, and I was all over the news. And
they don't do none of that no more, huh?
I haven't seen it, probably not. We got to do more stuff now to emphasize and highlight the youth and really put them out there. During that time, I was getting all that love, and that's what got me the opportunity to go on the road with McGruff and write the Dare song and do all that because I was probably one of the only ones that was vocal and that was everywhere. And I was in the city, I was in the hood because I was going from project to project and being known in all the projects because my mama was the manager of the whole district. So, you know, I got that opportunity to tell people my story and what we were going through. And at the time, we were still struggling. So it didn't come from a point of view of I made it out and I'm better than you. It came from the point of view of I'm in this shit with y'all. Let's figure out how we can get up out of this, how we can win.
In the trenches together.
My message always has been, let's figure out how we can collectively get up out of here. And that's what Nook, to kind of circle back to that, that's what Nook, the meaning of Nook became never outcasting our kind. And what that basically meant was unity, because I was the type of person that I never outcast somebody. If I felt like you was down with me, you rocking what we was doing, you was homie. And so like even from high school on, like I don't care if you was special needs, I don't care what your situation was. If you was cool, you know what I'm saying, and you rocking what I was doing, you was with me. So you would see me with a crew, 30 deep, gangsters, niggas from the streets, basketball players, because I played basketball. And then you gonna see occasionally your special needs or everybody rock with me. So that's why it was Nook, never outcasting his kind. Nook gonna be the one that bring everybody around. He ain't tripping on nobody on where they at. He see what's in their heart. If they down with him and down with what's going on, he rocking with them.
That's dope, bro. I got a dude in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
He's like 22, 23. He was sitting at my house the other day. Dude always just comes riding up on the bike, bro. You can't really understand what he's saying.
Mhm.
Everybody always just be blowing him off. I talk to him and I give him motorized helicopters, like this, everything, bro. Like this, you know what I mean? Stay out of trouble. You know what I mean? Stay positive, bro. And to hear you say that, that's what this generation is missing. Everybody feel like, oh, my swag got to be this, so I got to do this. And if you ain't on this with me, like, be your own self, be your own individual, and all the rest of it comes to you tenfold. I mean, the positivity that you put out is what I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm an only child, so I always yearned to have people around me, and it's like I didn't judge a person from where they was at or what they going through. If I had something I could help make their day better, we was rocking up. And like, I'm come to the house, we rocking out. Hey, mama cook for everybody. Like, it was always a situation to where I brought people joy, laughter, and it made their lives and their days better, but it also made me feel better because I had to be by myself.
Got you.
And that's what it was.
So you said your mom was recognized.
Mm-hmm.
So is that why you do the activist work that you do? Because what was the award? I know it was the urban social?
Yeah, just got an award from the Austin Area Urban League. But before that, I mean, I watched my mama go from nothing to showing me how to control everything. So, yeah, if you want to say where I learned activism from, and that, first hand it was my mama, and then second hand it was the late great Dorothy Turner. And so Dorothy Turner pretty much took where I was at and put everything on go.
You have to tell me who Dorothy Turner is. Once again, you gotta remember, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. So
yeah.
A lot of the stuff that's like Austin history, this is another reason why I started this podcast. So I can get to know where I'm living at and the people that's around me.
It's pretty much simple. Just throughout from my preteen to high school, I was basically touring the city. I was always doing shows. I did my first major show in Mexico. And I learned at that show in Mexico, none of those kids, and we packed in a whole arena out, none of those kids understood English. And they were screaming, yelling, and going crazy off of everything that I said. And they didn't know any English, but they knew the energy. And that's when I realized, at that point, I was like, man, I can really talk to the world, and people gonna hear what's going on, and I can really get that message out of us coming together and making real shit happen. And it crosses city lines, it crosses state lines, it even crosses country boundaries. And to see that in Mexico was crazy because they was lined up, they was fighting to get to me, I was signing autographs, and I was doing all that, and I was like, this is crazy right here. Like, we can really do something with this music.
So when I be talking to other artists and I tell them, bro, don't make music for your city. And they look at me like I'm completely insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, bro, you don't make it for your homeboy to ride around in his car and tell you that you good. Because you might have a yes man standing next to you and he feel like as soon as he say no, y'all friendship gonna go sideways. I always aim for everything outside of where I'm at because they're gonna give you the truest opinion because they don't know you from nowhere. And like you say, the energy is what moves them.
This is what I tell everybody. And I don't say it in these words. I just came up with this the other day when I was really kind of thinking on some things. But people you know will never help you blow. And you got to understand that. The people you know will never help you blow. That don't mean they won't assist you in getting in position to blow. But you will never blow up if you depended on it being from the people you know. And that kind of runs line in line with
That's deep.
with the Bible and how with Jesus and where it says only in a hometown is a prophet without honor.
Okay,
And
somebody better hear you today.
you got to understand that Jesus, as whatever you believe the story on him and whatever your beliefs are on that, if you look at the story, he never did one miracle in his hometown. Now, if this supposedly is the Son of God, he's the Messiah, why didn't he do anything in his hometown? And you got to start looking at really what is the message that we're supposed to be getting out of that. It ain't that he didn't love his hometown. It ain't that he didn't rock with his people. But his people didn't rock with him.
So he went to where
He had to go where he knew he could get his message across. Because in his hometown, that's just Yeshua. That's Joseph's son. He ain't nobody. But you go up the street,
he Jesus.
hey, that's the king. That's the Messiah. And then the people at home ain't going to realize who you are until they see outsiders recognize who you are. So I tell everybody, rock with your hometown, but from a distance. Because your hometown is only going to rock with you when they see other towns rocking with you. But if you try to do it from the inside out, it's too many people that know you. It's too many people that have personal contact with you. Jay-Z is so many people's idol. But if you got a chance to see Jay-Z every day, he was at the convenience store. Everywhere you went, you seen him. He was always in the hood. He wouldn't be Jay-Z that started you no more. He'd be, that's Jay. That's Sean.
Right.
But being that he's not somebody you see all the time, if you ever get a chance to be around him, it's going to be life altering for you. And that's what we forget, like being, as they used to call us, local artists and shit. It's like we become normal. And when you normal, nobody that sees you as normal will ever see you as a star or be able to understand you a star because you've already given them too much of your presence to where you can never be a star to them.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about going out somewhere else and building your brand, blowing up. We're going to get to the products and all that. But
Yes, sir.
I don't want to rush into that either.
Okay.
Building your brand, going out somewhere else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to Jump On It.
Okay.
Yeah, see the smirk? See the smirk? Yeah.
Because I love and hate Jump On It at the same time.
And that's what
Jump
I
on
want to
it. Jump On It is me, and Jump On It is a part that I don't want to be me. So Jump On It brings a lot. We get into talking about Jump On It
because
that shit's a lot.
I had an artist call me on the way over here. He saw that I had posted you on my story.
Okay.
And he like, oh man, I'm trying to pull up. I said, bro, I had you come to the next one. I said, this is on my second one. I said, I got something I'm really trying to get into with him.
Okay.
And you know what he told me?
What'd he tell you?
He said, I'm not even going to lie to you, Polo, because he called me Polo.
Okay.
He said, Nook really put me up on a lot of game out here. And he said he showed me a lot of love. Let me headline shows, the whole nine. Mm-hmm. What made you start Jump On It? What made you stop Jump On It?
Okay.
And after that, I have a follow-up for you.
Okay.
But I don't want you to hold no punches. So if it was something that an artist did,
No.
any of that, a janky promoter in the city, like artists need to know who they're dealing with.
Nah. It's so to keep the kind of the story linear. During my time of doing the more positive as far as the conscious scene with the Just Say No, Dare to Keep Kids Off Drugs, and that fight, it graduated into me being more on the let's stop the violence, type things, and there was a Turn Your Back on Violence event in 1995 that was put on by Lloyd Ellison at Doris Miller, and at that event, the late great Dorothy Turner, who's what at the time was, excuse me, she was a known community activist. She probably is one of the greatest individuals ever created in this city. Probably one of the most revolutionary people you will ever meet outside of standing in front of Harriet Tubman herself.
Okay.
And she put a citywide call out and said, anybody that want to use Rosewood Park, give me a call. I've been given jurisdiction, and anybody that want to use this park, reach out to me, and you can come use Rosewood Park. And that was during the time we were losing our parks. That was pre-gentrification here. Excuse me. So basically, that's when the East Side was starting to get whitewashed, and we were starting to lose everything. And Dorothy Turner was like, "Who want to use the park? Holler at me." In this entire city, the only person that came and hollered at her was who?
You.
Me. And I went and met with her, and when I met her, it's like I seen my grandmother all over again. I seen everything. And at this time, I didn't know any history on her. I just knew that she had put out this call, and I met with her, and she said, "Hey, whatever you want to do at Rosewood Park for the youth, I'll create the adult committee, and we'll get the adults lined up to make it happen. Whatever you want to do, let us know." And Jump On It came about. My mom actually came up with the name Jump On It. And we ain't got to go into that story on that, but Jump On It was really about jumping on reclaiming your thing. We wanted people to come back and reclaim Rosewood Park. Come back and reclaim our side of the city. Come back and reclaim our community. And Jump On It was basically my idea of saying, let's come out, let's have fun at the park, let's bring the community back to the park, let's entertain. I do music, I can perform, I can bring out all the artists that I rock with, and any artists in the city want to get on stage, and we're going to turn this into a hood holiday. Not one day of summer, not 2 days, not 3 days. We're going to do this every Wednesday for the entire summer. Our first couple of years of Jump On It was 12 weeks. And you had to be insane, but I didn't know I was insane at the time to want to put on something of that magnitude every week for an entire summer. But I took that on in 1997. And Jump On It became the largest outdoor urban concert series in the state, possibly the nation. I was top 25 under 25 by Fortune magazine, New York, out of New York. And I started getting every award you can think of around here. And I never really understood it because I was on the inside and I was in the fight. But you would look up at Jump On It on a Wednesday and see 5,000 black people. Amazing. And then you go home, and then the next week, you're going to see 5,000 black people. And then you go home, and so it became a tradition that people grew up on Jump On It. And any artist that wanted to perform, yeah, just holler at me or holler at my team, you on. So I let everybody get on. Like, that's what it was about. A lot of artists in this city would not have even had the opportunity to be in front of a large crowd like that had it not be for Jump On. So.
Okay, so that brings me to the city and the city's music scene.
I got a lot to say about that shit. A lot.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say about that shit.
Okay, give us just a second. Let's take a quick break so I can roll me another one real quick, and you can pour you another.
You see I'm coughing, so hey.
And we gonna get into this.
Let's do it.
Y'all already know what's going on. More motherfucking 3. I'm fucking my nigga Nook Turner and Jump On It. We live, that's on gang. Nook Turner. Why? Put your arms around. Why? When you notice that things won't change, and your niggas ain't acting the same, your bitch start running games, but you gotta remain the same. On the grind, I gotta get it, yeah. Go get the dollar, nigga, I'ma maintain. Move around if you ain't tryna work, cause I'ma put my hustle first. I'ma hustle until they know me, fuck talking, you got it.
Alright, so we back, right? And before we jump past this Jump On.
I see how you remember that though. I get it.
Yeah. Like Charleston White say. Yeah. No, but okay.
He got shirts to say that now. Like, he turning every day. He monetizing every day.
Okay, so we talking about Jump On It. And I was asking you, I said, hey, why, you know what I mean, why did you put it on pause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, I say certain stuff I don't bring up unless, you know, it's okay with the artist.
Yeah.
You got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Had to jump on it.
Mm-hmm.
Elaborate for me.
It was actually a jump on it event. It wasn't. So there's a difference between the jump on it summer concert series that we did every week out of Rosewood Park. There's a difference between those events and auxiliary jump on it events that were jump on it sponsored, directed, curated events, but not necessarily a jump on it that you would think is part of the concert series at the park. So, yeah, being a promoter and being in this city, and this city is a racist city, man. We know that, and we'll touch on that. But yeah, I got arrested at a jump on it first time at a jump on event ever in the history of me doing events. And what that basically boiled down to, the actual event was called She a Pro. And it was an event that...
The song you got with K Stylist.
Yeah, we took that and made a whole lifestyle that my wife is running
K Stylist is from Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a homie.
Yeah, I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. I know about K Stylist.
Okay.
Booted me down.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm up on all that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Let's wrap up.
But keep going.
So, K Stylist and I created the song a while back, and I was like, man, I need to make that song really have a positive vibe and outcome to that song. And so, you know, because we first think of She a Pro, you think that means basically she a hoe. And
well,
he
is the strip club anthem king.
He the strip club anthem king, and me, you know, I grew up, like I tell you, I'm never outcast and icon. I'm Nook. I fuck with everybody. And I know a lot of girls that strip. I know a lot of girls that have been in a lifestyle, and I know a lot of them are great individuals, and a lot of them are really live as fuck. They just see that as an opportunity to do what they need to do. But if you take a lot of them girls and they hustle and put it in this corporate world and give them some direction and really give them some real shit, a lot of them girls will turn into multi-millionaires. They'll never get the opportunity. And so I was like, I want to highlight all females and turn it into she's a pro, she a professional. I mean, whatever she do, if she work at a strip club, if she a teacher, if she a nurse, if she, whatever you do 100 and be the best version of you. And that's what I was like. I was telling my wife, I'm like, nah, you gotta take this and run with this and turn that negative connotation into some positive shit that'll make people say, regardless of what I'm going through right now, there's a better situation for me out there if I start looking for it. So whatever condition I'm in now, that's temporary, but my real condition is me becoming the best version of me. And that's when I go from that caterpillar to that butterfly, I come out that cocoon and I grow. And so we turned She a Pro into a whole brand. And we even got the She a Pro perfume and the whole She a Pro lifestyle. But initially when we was doing She a Pro, that was the first She a Pro event that we were doing. And that was highlighting female artists. They did youth workshops and we had vending. And so that whole event was to highlight our prominent females in the city. And so, I booked the venue. My wife and I went, we looked at the venue. It's on the east side. We fell in love with it. It was called Getaway Motor Club. We was like, man, this would be dope. We could bring the She a Pro Fest here, and man, this would be live. And so I paid for all the permits. I paid for everything we need to do because I've been doing this all my life. I know how to do it. Yes. So we paid for everything. I even found out I had to pay for a building permit. I do all that. No problem. Let's put the budget together. Let's pay for it. The day of the event, this venue is called Getaway Motor Club, mind you. So part of their brand is they have these nice classic cars inside of it. So the day of the event, we get there, and we didn't know there was no issue with the cars, but the fire marshal was there. And the fire marshal's like, in order to have these cars in the building, you got to have the gas tanks empty and you got to have the hoods up. Hey man, I don't know nothing about that. You got to talk to the lady that I booked this through. You got to talk to the venue because I don't know nothing about that. I booked the venue through them. They handled all that.
She didn't know?
So here's the catch. When the fire marshal went to talk to her, she started making herself unavailable. So that's when you start realizing, okay, something might not be right, but I don't know. But since I deal with the city, I've been dealing with the city since I was a kid, I can talk to them and say, okay, let's figure out what's going on. And so basically, long story short, the fire marshal came at me and was like, hey, I'm going to shut this event down. And at that point, I'm like, this event is too positive and there's too many great things going on. What can we do to satisfy the needs? Because I don't know nothing about that. He was like, I sent it to you in writing. You didn't send me anything. You've been dealing directly with the venue. And so the lady from the venue was just, she wasn't cooperative and it let me know that she knew that they was on some bullshit time, but I didn't know about that. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm on the phone, who can I get to come empty these gas tanks? I'm trying to figure out
How to fix it.
So
I
because
can have my shit.
the event is turned into a beautiful event. And my wife and her team put in so much work to make that event work. I'm like, I'm not going to let this event get shut down. So the fire marshal brings me back out there. He's talking to me, and he's like, I'm going to shut it down. I'm like, screaming. I'm like, no, we got to figure out a solution. But I'm recording him the whole time. I said, we got to figure out a solution, man. It's a positive event. There's no reason. I even paid y'all extra money through the venue so we would be good. And so I didn't have any idea this was a problem. We got to figure this out. And basically what the fire marshal did, since I was kind of giving him a hard time on just saying, yeah, shut my shit down, he called in and said that he was being assaulted. And I never assaulted him. Never done any of that. Only thing I ever done to him was I put my arm around him and said, come talk to me, man. Because that's my way of how I handle stuff. Come holler at me, man. We good,
Right,
dog.
let's take this walk real
Let's
quick.
take this walk. Let's come on, figure this out, man. I got too much on the line. My wife, it's a good event for the kids, for the businesses. Like I'm telling them, like, look, this is something positive our hood never get. Don't shut it down. But by the time APD get there, all they have gotten is
Assault.
public official being assaulted. So instead of them coming and seeing what was going on, they just came and grabbed me, slammed me down in front of everybody, turned it into it like I was a active shooter or something.
Did you just like Chris Hurd?
Yeah. Beat the fuck out of me, choked me, slammed me, stood on me. They did whatever you could do to me to get away with it at the time they did. And they not only just did it to me, they did it in front of everybody. So you had people going on Facebook Live, all that shit. And it was like, it was a bad situation. And we knew the police chief at the time, so I'm telling my wife, hey man, call the chief, like, figure this out, you know? And in the process, I went to jail. They didn't even stop the event. So while I'm in jail, she still was able to have the event. Vince still, so then it made me start feeling like, was it about the event or was it about me?
Right.
Because you didn't shut the event down, but you took me to jail.
Gas still in the tanks.
Everything.
Hood still
Everything.
down.
They ran a whole event. Once I'm in the car and I'm gone, the event, they ain't even fucking with them. So I get down there, you know, I've been in jail before, so I know the process. Like, I'm like, man, it's cool. I'm gonna get right out. And I got lawyer people, so I'm telling her, man, get a hold of my lawyer, call him and, you know, get me out of here. When I get ready to get magistrate, I walk to the front, I ask the lady, like, I know I'm only in here for what? What can they say? Because I ain't done nothing. And she was like, nah, you got 3 felonies. Assault on a public official, resisting arrest, and I forgot the other shit, but it was 3 felonies. And she was like, nah, you not finna get out. And that's when it hit me like, hold on, but I didn't assault nobody. I didn't resist arrest. I didn't fight nobody. I didn't do none of that shit.
So, 3 felonies.
3 felonies.
You realize you finna turn around and go back to that cell.
Yeah.
What happens with the case?
First of all, I'm like, I gotta get out of here, so whatever they gonna charge to get out of here, I already got a lawyer on deck. That's one thing my daddy taught me. He ain't taught me nothing in life, but just one thing. He said, always keep your lawyer on retainer. It's the only rule my daddy ever taught me. So I didn't have the lawyer on retainer, but I got a lawyer on deck that I can call. Firsthand, we home, but I can call him. So I was like, hey, get a hold of him, tell him to come get me. So I already knew they was gonna come get me. But I didn't know how we was gonna deal with the felony stuff because that was new. I'm like, I got footage, and I know a lot of people got footage. We can prove all this wrong, but are they gonna try to smear my name again? Are they gonna try to kill my character? Or am I gonna go through the public character assassination? Was my concern. I was like, I can't let that happen. But I got out of jail, and I got out like later that night, and I went right to work trying to figure shit out. And my lawyer got on it. I had people that videotaped it to send over the videos to my lawyer. As soon as he seen the videos, he was like, you ain't have to worry about nothing. Just let me go talk to them, show it to the prosecutor. He went and showed it to the prosecutor, and he called me like, hey man, that shit's dismissed. That shit dropped. They're not even gonna pursue charges. So they didn't even really charge me. I never actually got magistrated and actually charged and indicted for the crime. I just got arrested for 3 felonies.
And fucked your night up.
It fucked my night up.
Not the whole night. Your night, but your event still got to go and do what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, the event still happened, and we continued doing that for years after that. But it's just another one of those things you deal with in the city whenever black people become progressive or you see a black person that's making progress and helping the people. It's always like we run into adversity, and then everybody always say, see, I told you he was this, or it affirmed any negative
Trying to
belief
make
you
your
had
image
about a
look-
person.
look a certain
So if
way.
somebody thought I was on some bullshit before, that just affirmed, I told you he was like that. And that's what I've always dealt with, so I don't have a problem with it, but I wanted to make sure that I was clear to do other events. And so my stipulation, because at first I was going to do a lawsuit against the city, and that was on my heart, like, I'm going to just sue their ass. But that was like, what would that affect what I got set up, what I'm working on,
Block permits and all that type of shit.
just trying to figure out the whole move. And so what I basically told them, my demand is the fire marshal that I had that with, if there's any event that I'm doing that he's assigned to, he got to recuse himself from the situation. And they basically said, okay, cool. So that fire marshal can't come near anything we ever got going. He got to move on. And that was the thing I say, you know what? And from this point on, I shouldn't have any problem from any fire marshal, any permit, nothing like that forever. And that's basically what it's been from that point, is I haven't really had any problems with them at all because of that situation. And if I needed to, I could come back and still file a lawsuit now. So if they do any bullshit to me moving forward, best believe I'm coming with everything.
Okay. We was talking about the music scene.
Yes.
Right? That's
yes.
where we was headed before we double back to
Yes.
the jump on it. So with this music scene, you say you got a lot to say. I want to speak my piece first real quick.
Oh yeah, you good.
Everything that I do,
Mm-hmm.
it's because every time I reach out to somebody,
Mhm.
I get spent. Or you want to charge me.
Definitely.
And I said this on the interview I did. I said, you could be shunning a person that possibly got the biggest bag to play with in the city, and you don't even know it. So I might be able to give you 10,000 and help bring a major show, a major artist, and let everybody shine and really put light on the city. Or if you do a vlog and you say, hey, I'm doing features, tap in right now for this much, boom, 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 and I send you a message and I get no response.
Yeah.
So my money's not good enough for you. It's the way I would take that. Because if this is your profession, you're going to tap back in and say, hey, bro, yeah, send the 500 or send the 1,000 or 1,500, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I decided to go against the grain. I'm not part of the in crowd. I'm not part of the cool club. And I'm fine with that. I went and started everything on my own. Started getting my music video shot on my own.
Welcome to Austin.
Welcome to Austin. But you was letting people on your platform for free.
Yeah.
So what do you think about today's music scene right now in Austin? I got one other thing I want to say first before you start that.
All right.
I'm not a hater.
Okay.
If your music is good,
I don't believe you're hating because you reached out to me and you've been showing me. I don't believe that's in you like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
If your music is good, I'm going to tell you your music is good. I don't have to rock with you as a person,
Right.
but I can rock with your music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will say this. Every time somebody's asked a question about music, it's Quinn put the city on the map. Quinn put the city on the map.
Yeah.
You just told us you were throwing concerts every Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
with 5,000 people out there.
Mm-hmm. Got receipts.
Why is your name not being mentioned? Why do people hesitate to give you your flowers in the city? And you tell me how you feel about the music scene.
It's a lot of reasons, and a lot of those reasons are probably mostly my fault. That's why I said earlier, jump on is my gift and my curse. Because when I start focusing on making sure I put others on and put the city on, I stopped putting myself on. And that was one of my mistakes. I made Jump On It a conduit for local artists, but not a conduit for a Nook. And I just was young and was getting bad information that, hey, this is your event, it's a community event, you can't use it for your self-purpose. And that was the wrong and worst advice I probably ever got in my entire life. And so when I'm bringing out these large crowds, I'm not doing anything to brand and cultivate my artistry and myself, but I'm giving all the artists here an opportunity to do that for themselves. But giving them the opportunity to do that for themselves, but they had no leadership in even how to do that. And I could have been the spearheading doing that. But my biggest mistake in all of this situation is I start putting my music secondary to Jump On It. Where my music was the reason I started Jump On It, my music ended up being the back seat to Jump On It. And without my music being in the front seat, because my music is what made me popular, what put me in a position to even start Jump On It, that's what my failure was. So people here didn't know me as an artist. They always knew me as that's the guy to do Jump On It.
The promoter.
That's the promoter. And it would be pockets where I would do music, and every time I would get deep into my music, I would have a tragic, major incident happen that would derail that. And I was into bad beliefs that it might not be meant for me to do that a certain way, and it was just the problems with that. But I never kept Nook the artist at the forefront. I never made sure that Nook the artist got what he needed to be able to supplement everything else that falls under Nook's umbrella. I made Jump On It the umbrella. And you can't make an umbrella or a safety situation from a nonprofit community situation that you never own, and from a situation that is always going to need the support of others in order to be successful. And that's different than being an entrepreneur, because you need support from others as an entrepreneur, but if you got something to sell them, you can exchange goods for monetary resources. Doing community events, doing free stuff, you don't have any way to feed or put any kind of substantial growth into what you're doing. You're basically being a giver. And you can give as much until you run out of gifts to give, and then if you don't have anything to replenish those gifts, you're out of there. And that's what I did with Jump On It is I overextended and gave my capacity and didn't have anything to come back and re-energize or refill my bag. And I put my music to the back burner in doing that, so I didn't even have my music to follow.
So how many people that was a part of Jump On It reached out to you or have touched base with you and said, hey bro, I appreciate when you did this for me. If you have something going on or you need something, I'm here. Or here, take this, bro. Now that I'm up, I realize what you did for me and how much you really invested in my career. Because that's what you did.
Right.
You invested your money in somebody else's career. That's what you just stated to me.
Yeah. I don't want to say none because it may be one person, but nothing comes to mind or nobody comes to mind. I think the issue falls in the place of when you give a person a gift that they're not necessarily deserving or had to work for, and you keep giving them that gift, they begin to become entitled or feel entitlement that you're supposed to be doing that for them. So I don't get a lot of the, hey, thanks, you invested in my career or you put me on. They look at me as that's what I'm supposed to do. They look at me like that's what he's entitled to do that. He's supposed to give to the community. He's supposed to make sure I have a platform. It turned into what that people believe like that's what I'm supposed to do. And I didn't have to do none of that shit. And I didn't have to look out for nobody. My mom at the time when we started Jump On It, she managed like 20-something artists. We could just make that our fest every week. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to say, let's put on another artist. My heart said, man, if you from Austin, we rocking. But I think niggas felt like that I owed that to them. Because even when Jump On It got to the point where we always struggled with Jump On It. We may have had 5,000, we peaked at 10,000 people. We may have had 10,000 people out there, but we was never financially stable to even continue the event. It'd be a month out before Jump On It start. City ain't even supported this. I go on the radio and say, Jump On It starts this date next month, be there. I don't know if I'm going to have the money to do it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I believe in it. I'm going to put it out there, and I'm going to go out there and do my best to make it happen.
And that's part of us talking about you got to take that risk.
You got to take the risk. You got to do that. So when people come out there and see 8,000 people, they like, oh, he getting money. The city paying him big. Now, the city ain't gave me shit. But they believe I'm getting this bag from somewhere, so then they believe he getting money from the city for this, so he owed this to us. No, bro. City is giving me crumbs. If you ever look at any Jump On It budget and you go, and this is public record, so anybody can Google this shit. If you ever go and see any money that the city of Austin gave for Jump On It, look at the full budget and see the percentage of their input versus the entire number, and you will always realize what the city give us is not even more than a quarter to 30%, and that been their max days of what it actually took to do these events. But with people out here, they believe if they see the City of Austin logo on out, he getting fed from the city. So the artists never respected me on that level because they always felt like I was making money off of giving them an opportunity, and I never was, and I never did. And my fault is I should have kept my music in their face because my music is what got me in that position, and that was my fault.
Speaking of music,
Yes, sir.
they don't want to give you your flowers, but I've been telling you I've been listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling you actual lyrics
Yes.
out of the song. So you understand I'm breaking this stuff down, right?
Yeah.
And I keep seeing the hustle. I'm seeing sweatsuits all over the place. I was wondering where mine was when I, you know what I mean? No.
I got you. That's done deal. Yeah, you
No,
say
but
less
check-
on that shit.
but check this
That's
out.
done deal.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to talk about music. And I
Mhm.
say, why they don't want to give you your flowers? You are a man that has a catalog that consists of features from. Hold on.
This shit I ain't even put out yet.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Consists of features from
Let's see if you know.
K Stylist.
Mm-hmm.
You got Yin Yang Twins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another Texas.
When they
legend.
was.
Yeah. When every
Yeah.
feature that I'm naming, you every feature that I'm naming,
Mm-hmm.
I want people to understand these were features from these people when they were popping.
Right.
Okay, so we start with Yin Yang Twins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said another Texas legend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Boy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay,
When Charlie Boy was hot.
right, on my mama, on my hood.
Right. During that time, when not when he's trying to resurge. This is when yeah. Continue. I got you.
Okay, so one more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hustle first
Mm-hmm.
with Mo 3
And
and Trina. Bobby back here with this Miami shit though. So we know how he feel.
mm-hmm.
How did you get the features?
Okay.
Were you in the studio when they recorded these verses or
Okay.
these hooks?
Okay.
Who produced the tracks?
Okay.
Like, I want all the insides because, like I said, I'm here to give you your flowers.
Right.
You got a catalog. We haven't even got into the stuff that's on the table yet.
Well, let's get into that in this next segment. And I'm gonna break it down for you for the music side. Everything you just asked me, I'm gonna give you the information.
Alright.
Some of that shit gonna be real interesting too.
Alright, so before we took this break, we was talking about your catalog, right?
Okay.
And we talked about Put Your Hustle First, featuring Mo 3 and Trina, the baddest bitch.
Yes.
Right? So, I asked you, how did you get the features? Who produced it? And if you was in the studio with them when the song was put together. And I also want to add one more part to that question.
Okay.
Have you met Rainwater? What was it like in y'all relationship if you have?
So you want me to start with the Put Your Hustle First?
Yes, sir.
Crazy. So, okay, that record, Put Your Hustle First, it was just
Featuring the legend.
Mo 3, late great,
Rest in peace.
and Trina. So that record, that was a old song. I got the beat from a guy named Marcus, and I just sat on the beat. But I rapped a whole different kind of song on the beat, but I never used the song.
Okay.
And I got this cousin named DJ that he my biggest fan, he my biggest critic. He gonna tell me how he feel regardless if I like the shit or not. But he was at the house and every time he come over, he like, man, let me hear some of your old shit. Let me hear what you doing. Let me hear what you doing. And a lot of times I'll be like, man, you don't need to hear nothing. I'll let you hear something later, and I blew him out. But this time I was like, I'll just go through my hard drive, man, just play stuff. And he played that song. He's like, man, you got to get Mo3 on this song. Said his name is Mo3, first of all, man. He's like, I don't give a fuck what his name is. He got to do this song. And, DJ, shout out DJ. He was on me on Mo3 on that record. But I didn't really know. I was like, I don't know what I want to do with it. But we was getting ready for the next jump on it. And see, this is after all the years of me learning from the mistakes I made in the past. So during this time, I was like, okay, in the past, artists didn't even know my name was Nook. They knew me as Charles. In the past, artists I brought to the city, they don't even know I rap. Because I was always on, it ain't about me, it's about everybody else. So my new way of thinking was, any artist I bring to jump on it, I'm going to do business with them. And if they ain't down to do business with me, then I ain't finna do business with them. I'm tired of paying to promote an artist and then they don't show you love. We out here singing a nigga song, trying to get people to come to our event to see this artist. We promote that artist, and then at the end of the day, the artist look at you like you ain't nothing. So anyway, I was working on the next jump on it stuff, and that was during the time we was right like knee deep into the COVID and the pandemic stuff, and everything was on lock, and we was having to figure out how to do virtual events and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I want Mo3 to come in and do something with the youth we had, to jump on the teens. But at the same time, we're going to do a record together. I already got a relationship with Rain. I already got a relationship with Mo3. So that never was an issue.
Right. So before you get to the record then, explain how you came about having that relationship. Like, where did you bump into them at, or who threw you that oop for y'all to have that relationship?
Well, one of the good things about doing Jump On It and doing these shows and bringing stuff throughout the state, I mean, everybody know me. One key thing about Jump On It was we'd have major artists pull up to Jump On It and perform. I didn't even know it was coming. Jump On It became that hot spot that if you wanted to promote in this market and get known in this market, you got to be a Jump On It. So you got the greats like, you know, the ESGs, the Juvenile, Cash Money, Lil Wayne. You got all these artists, MC Ren. You can name any artist, Lil Troy, any major artist that made an impact in this market. That was once upon a time, they pulled up to Jump On It. And I got the message, hey, such and such in the car, can they get on stage? So that's been there. Okay. And when we brought the series back in 2014, that started actually coming back. But with Rain, Rain used to be a booking agent or whatever. He used to book out when Dallas was popping. Rain was a guy you could call and he'd book all the Mr. Hit That Hoe. Anybody from Dallas, you could book him through Rain. Okay. And Rain was the type of dude that he gonna cut the deal for you. You gonna get the best deal through him because he gonna always have a hustle with it. That's just how Rain is. He gonna have a play already set up with that shit. That might be totally separate from your play. So he gonna make your play easier for you to run because he gonna have a play.
Yes, he gonna have one.
I don't have a problem with that because that's cool. We both win. Right. So Rain probably already knew who I was because of Jump On It. But I remember it was one night, it was doing South by Southwest. And I seen them. It was Mo3 there, Rain was there, my wife was there. We was rocking, and we seen them, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I need to holler at him. And I know of him, I've seen him. I've done stuff with people that's done business with him. Events that Rain booked, I was part of them, just not directly. I was either helping promote or did all the advertisement and the marketing layout or whatever. But that night, you know what I'm saying, he came over there and he already knew me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need to holler at you. We gonna holler. He was like, yeah, just get with me. So it wasn't never no issue. And so what I was like,
paying big time.
Nah, because they realized I'm an asset. It was one time I brought Boosie here. I hadn't talked to Rain in 3 years. Rain called, hey man, we finna pull up to the Boosie show. Make sure we get in. All right, done deal. So it's always been that kind of like he fuck with me, I fuck with him. We just never done real business together. But I pretty much locked in with him because I wanted to bring Mo3 to Jump On It. I brought Mo3 when we brought Jump On It back to Givens Park. So I just called him and said, hey, I need 3 to open my summer up. DJ Smurf, the homie, shout out DJ Smurf. He always my go-to guy when I'm trying to figure out what artist to bring down for Jump On It. Smurf is never wrong. Any artist Smurf ever told me to bring, he was never wrong. And so he was like, you got to bring Mo3. Done deal. And, you know, so from that point, I just started rocking with Rain, and we would communicate on a regular basis. And, you know, I brought 3 down, and it was like I always just kind of felt his energy. Like I always for some reason with Mo3, I don't know, I just fucked with him. I fucked with his pain and his struggle because I relate to a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Because y'all music is the same pretty much.
Yeah.
It's based off.
It's
the,
that
it's
pain.
based off the pain that you grew up with.
And when Mo 3 showed up to Gibbons Park for Jump On It, they showed up 30 minutes late. This nigga got out and got on stage and performed in flip flops. I ain't like that shit. I ain't like that because, and I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you how the relationship grew from that point. Is after the show, I told him, I said, bro, why you got on flip flops? He's like, man, we rushed straight down here we was trying to get here and there, and I just wanted to hop out and do it, and I respected that. And he talked to me about it, and we got a chance to communicate.
Right, it wasn't like I don't give a fuck about what you got
Yeah,
going
nigga,
on.
I did the show, yeah.
It was more so like, nah, bro, I
Yeah.
actually rushed to get here because I wanted to really do this.
Yeah, they rushed and they pulled up and he got straight on stage, and I understood that. But the fact that he was able to communicate that with me, it was like, you know what, I really, really rock with this dude. So like anytime I got to jump on an event, he can be part of it, we gonna do it. And so that's how that relationship began.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, on another level, because that was Jump On It 2016 was the first time I had actually done business with him. But I already knew him and talked to him, you know, prior to then. But then we did Jump On It again, I want to say 2018. No, 2019 Jump On It. I was like, I got to bring him back. And I brought him back. And this is when he was going through more of the feud and the shit. And I got a chance to... talk to him more about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it was like more of a kind of deeper, getting into a more of a deeper type relationship, because now I'm having conversations with him about life and real shit and other shit. And it's not really even about him performing and no shit like that.
Right.
And mind you, they still never knew I rapped. I never told them I rapped and none of that shit. So it just became like that kind of relationship. But then Mo 3 got booked for a show in Corpus. The promoter in Corpus did some bullshit, but a guy I know, I don't know him, he know me. So I know him because he know me, basically.
Gotcha.
He hits me and like, hey man, Mo 3 down here, can you get me to talk to them because the promoter did some bullshit and I want to put a bag in their hand and fix what this promoter did so Mo 3 don't believe Corpus Christi is on some bullshit. And so it's like 2 a.m. type shit. I call Rain, he pick up. And that's the other thing about Rain. Call him, I'm gonna get him on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So I call him, he pick up, and I'm like, yo, my dude down there want to talk to you, he want to fix the shit. And it didn't end up working out because they was already on the road back to Dallas, but it was just that fact that you could see that we was actually really...
That he actually picked that shit up.
And he fucked with it. Like, it wasn't just, you graduated from just being, that's a nigga that book a show with, somebody you fuck with. You know what I'm saying? That you can call and start becoming a network and a connection and somebody you can actually do some bigger shit with, not just booking his artists. Like, we probably could really make some real bags together. You know what I'm saying? We could do some major shit. So fast forward that, we was getting ready for the Jump On It 2020 stuff during the COVID shit and all that was going on. And I was like, I want to bring Mo to talk to the kids. But actually, Mo 3 was he's gonna be a surprise guest for the kids. So we was gonna have a virtual event, and I was gonna bring on, hey, I got a surprise artist that want to talk to y'all, and it was gonna be 3 come in, and boom.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so, but I said, you know what I learned from Jump On It in the past, I'm not doing that. Hey, I need a record. And that was all based on my Kinfo DJ saying, get Mo 3 on that song. And so I just basically called Rain and said, hey, I need a verse from 3, and I need a hook too. I want to do a song with him. At first, Rain was like, he ain't doing verses and stuff no more. And he was like, who the artist anyway? Me. He's like, nigga, you rap? Yeah, nigga. And that's what I do. So I had to explain all that breakdown to him and do all that shit.
I'd have known you for how long?
All this long, and I never knew you did music.
But that just goes to show you. You good? All right, so you said you call Rainwater. Telling you need a verse from Mo.
Yeah.
He said he not doing verses.
He ain't trying to do no verses. So I already got a relationship with him, so I'm gonna talk shit. Come on, man, it's bullshit. I'm gonna talk shit to him. You know what I'm saying? So I talk shit. Like, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I need, and
you say he asked who it was for.
He asked who it was for. You know, what's the artist? You don't even know the artist. I'm like, I don't know artists. And he's like, you rap? I ain't like they didn't know I rap. And that was my biggest thing is I didn't put me as an artist in the forefront most people, they just knew what I signed on the contracts as my government. They didn't know I had anything to do with music outside of jump on it or promoting events. And that, like I said, that was my fault. Because I just got in that frame of mind of not to do that when that was the wrong advice that I'd ever took from anybody in any situation. But anyway, he was like, you know, I told him it was me. So then that kind of softened him up. And he was like, man, send me the record. You know what I'm saying? So I sent him the record and then.
Did you have that verse that you got on there? Or did you have a different verse on there when you sent it to him?
Nah, actually, I didn't have a verse on it. It was a dude that it came and sung like a mock hook on the song for when I was originally going to do it. So I still had the mock hook on there.
Okay.
So I sent him the beat with that mock hook. And I said, well, first of all, I need 3 to do the hook. You know what I'm saying? I need him to do the hook. And then we'll get to getting the verse. And we'll get to that, but let's start with the hook. So I sent him the record. And he hit back like, we fucks with it. So I was like, we good. I said, well, don't use, you don't have to use the words the dude sung on it. 3 can make up his own words.
Okay.
And he was like, all right. And I didn't know if they were going to make up their own words or not, if he was just going to redo what the dude sung on it. And, you know, we took care of getting all that stuff situated. And then I was anxious. I was waiting. So I was not in the studio when 3 did his stuff. I was anxious. So I was like,
Did you know what day he was in there doing it, or you was just waiting?
No, I knew when they went to the studio.
Okay.
I just was waiting on him to get it, to go to the studio to do it.
Okay.
And Rain finally hit me because I was blowing him up and like, man, what's up? I want to hear the song. Did he get it recorded? And I let it. Finally, Rain hit me and was like, let me send it to you, see what you think. And he sent it to me. I was like, bro actually wrote his own words to it, and you could tell he felt what he was saying. I was like, okay, now it's time for me to start working on getting his verse. But it was like, I liked it, and I was like, okay, send me the files so I can start putting everything together. And then I was going to lay my shit and then get back with him to get Mo to do a verse. And I wanted to actually be there when 3 do a verse. So, like, I got to be there when he do this shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just unfortunate. You know, I got that shit back from them on Friday, and then 3 died on that following Wednesday. So that process never happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't put yours the first. You just hear what he did on the hook. And what he actually did on the hook, we hadn't even finished the record yet. So it was like I had to use what I had because I felt like at that time if 3 would have put more focus on his hustle than his beef and his ops, that, you know, I think he'd still be with us. And I was like, I got to put this record out because I got to start putting the message out there. Put your hustle first. Fuck your ops. I don't give a damn about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Your best way to get them niggas is to shit on them by shining on them. But with 3, that don't really apply because he was vested in because he took actual real losses. He lost real homeboys, real partners. And, you know, I can't speak on if somebody take out some of my closest partners, if I'm going to be on some, let me put my hustle before this shit. Like, I don't know where I'd be with that because thank God I haven't had to deal with that. But I want that to still be a message for anybody else that, you know, put what's going to make you successful first. You know, if you don't have to be in harm's way of your enemies and your haters, then get out of their motherfucking way. You don't have to be in their way. You know, and I always felt like 3, I was for a minute I was mad at him. You know, I was mad because I always felt like he just put himself in danger when he didn't have to be in danger. And that was something I had to deal with. But I said, you know what, I'm going to make this record still do what it do because he deserves that. And I deserve that as an artist, being able to have him on a song with me. And that message is something that's powerful. Now, how Trina came about on the song was we were bringing her to the Shia Pro virtual festival that Jump On It was doing. And Trina was our guest speaker. Okay. And she was going to perform. And so when we brought them here, I talked to them about it, and she ended up knowing Mo3. And I didn't even know, she in Miami, I didn't know they had no connection with what's going on in Dallas. But I didn't know at that time that Miami was really rocking with 3. I didn't know that.
Man, that boy was global, man.
When we went to shoot the video with Trina in Miami. We shot the video in her own neighborhood next to a mural that she's on with her and her mom. And you had people riding up and down the street the whole time we was in Miami banging Mo 3. And that was crazy. But how she decided to get on the record was they already knew Mo 3. And they were fucked up behind the fact that he had died. And I let her hear the record. And, you know, that's how she wrote from that point. She heard the record, I got to do it. So in the real song before it got put out, Trina did a verse and a sermon on that motherfucker. I might one day put that out. I don't know if you remember that, Bree. Trina not only rapped a verse on there, she did damn near a sermon on that bitch after that. Like, real talk. So, you know, when I got her verse, we decided to go to Miami and shoot the video, like I said a while ago. And you know, from that point, I just rock with Trina. Like,
Who shot the video?
K Fresco shot 90% of it. When we came back to Austin after shooting it in Miami, I felt like I got to get Austin in the video too, because we had shot the whole video in Miami, and we shot it at a mural. And I was like, we got a mural in Austin that I'm on, so I like, we might as well shoot this at the mural I'm on since we shot at the mural that Trina was on. So I called some of my closest people and was like, yo, meet me, you know what I'm saying, toward the Chicon in the hood, and we're going to shoot a part to this hustle first. I want to get Austin in the video. So I was able to get a lot of my Austin people that I rock with in the video, where at first that wasn't the original plan and that wasn't the look. So I brought in Honcho. Shout out to Honcho Management. I brought in Honcho to do the shooting on that.
Okay.
And my boy E came out, Edwin, Fifth Letter Media, he came out and brought his drone. So we got the drone footage from him. And then I ended up editing the video. So the video is edited by me. And that's only because I knew the story. I knew what I wanted to tell in the video. And I knew the messaging behind the video. And I wanted that to be prominent in the song as best as I could. And since 3 wasn't here to do his part in the video, I had to go find an old Jump On It tape where he was giving me a shout out and jump on it to use that, and then find different clips that would fit with it. So when we got the video done, I sent it to Trina. I sent it to Rain to get, you know, what y'all think on this before we do anything about it or with it. And they was like, yeah, run that shit. So I always had, they voted confidence from the gate that that's what it is. So that's how that whole thing came about. And we just at the point now, I got to put my hustle first, and I'm on the hustle. And I'm on my shit like I should have been years ago. And so now I'm finna make music be what it's supposed to be for Nook Turner. And that's kind of where it is now. So put your hustle first was kind of the catalyst to me even understanding what that meant for my music and my life and my hustle.
Okay, and I keep telling you that I'm locked in and I'm tuned in to what you got going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said Fresco shot 90% of that video, right?
Yeah. Shout out Cade.
He also shot on one?
Yeah, he shot the whole on one.
Yeah, okay. I'm just want you to know how tapped in I am over here.
Yeah, he shot the whole on one. Cade,
I get lit, but I don't forget nothing. I'm tuned in over here.
Yeah, when I did both of those songs, I was back on Let Me Do My Music. And then I had to figure out what we was going to do with Jump On It, going through the pandemic, and then coming out of the pandemic, how I was going to make sure Jump On It didn't die. And when I got back into Jump On It, I lost my music. So that's why you had a gap again. Anytime you see a gap between my music, it's because I was focused on the community, Jump On It, and helping others. I wasn't focused on making sure I was good first. So that was, like I said, that was my biggest mistake on that. But Kane flew out to Miami with us. We got an Airbnb out there, and we rocked out. We partied hard. We did our thing. And yeah, when we was able to get the video done from Trina. Trina also, so with the virtual festival she did, the She a Pro Festival, the people we hired to do that event fucked up on the audio. So I had to tell Trina them, hey, we're going to come to Miami to shoot the video, but I also need you to re-record.
The verse.
No, not the verse. Re-record the shit from the virtual festival that we had initially brought her to Austin for. And they fucked with it. Like, she had to come and re-record some of that shit.
That shit had no problem with it. She just did.
No. She got it knocked out. You got to be efficient with time with her, but she got shit knocked out. And then seeing her in her own hood, she a legend in her hood, bro. Like, dude, so in order to be in that hood, we in the Poking Beans. In order to be in that hood, we had to get permission to get a pass fortunately, my partner Stan, shout out Stan, SK, whatever you want people to call you, Baby Luke. Anyway, he basically came up. He was on the first street team in hip hop history with Luke Records and Luke, Uncle Luke.
Uncle Luke.
So during his time of doing that, he been on the Miami scene and been around them. So he had a dude named Fish that's been part of 2 Live Crew and all that. And Fish has his own podcast studio and they have a filming production company, all that. And Fish basically grew up around Trina. And so he's from that hood. So he was the one that actually took us to that hood. Trina didn't know where we was filming at. It was up to us to figure out where we shoot at. And Fish was like, let's fuck her head up. Let's do it in her neighborhood. Let's do it in her mural. Trina hadn't been back to that neighborhood since they done the mural, which was like a year prior to that. She had lost her mother and she had been going through a lot of stuff. So I think being in that area is kind of so sentimental to her. She hadn't really fucked with that area. So Fish was like, let's do it over there and let's shock her. So he went over there with us. He told me I had to meet him early in the day over there. Met with him early in the day and he actually went and got our passes to be there. And first time I ever seen this shit, because Austin don't really operate like that. You know what I'm saying? I know some of these other cities, Miami do, St. Louis probably do.
You got to know the right person.
You got to check in. You got to get your pass to be there. So Fish basically made sure that we were straight. He the OG there. Motherfuckers know him. And he brought us there. Then he burned out after he had talked to everybody who he talked to. And it was crazy because people actually coming out and seeing us. And it was like, this kind of dangerous, man, because we sitting ducks out here. Kid Fish up fish. What we gonna do? All right, walk around here and talk to such and such. Go over there, talk to him. All right, I tell everybody, stand down. Like, it was that real of a shit. But the neighborhood didn't even know Trina was coming. Trina didn't know because I hadn't sent them the address on what we was doing the shoot at yet. So Fish like, send them the address and see what they say. I sent the address and their response back was, oh. I'm like, okay, all right. So when Trina them pull up, they do their whole shit, and she like, why you choose this spot? Like, it was like really like, cause she hadn't even been over there, and I was like, I said, Fish said this spot, you know what I'm saying? And then they was like, hey, it's gonna get real crazy out here, cause Trina ain't been in the hood, and the hood fuck with her, and the motherfucking hood came out. So to see that, I was like, Austin don't even have that shit no more. And to see that hood and how they love Trina, how they fuck with her, and I mean, it was some dope shit. So I was like, man, I gotta get Austin in here somewhere. I can't just have all of Miami and not have Austin. But yeah, we had to get a pass. And then when they got a certain time, I got the message, hey, y'all need to get out of there. That's what it is. We did what I did, did what we did, and we got out of there. But we got the pass from Fish. Shout out to Fish for able to actually go into that hood and do that.
Okay.
So no, I was not there with her when she did her verse either. She did her verse in Miami and sent it to me. So for that song, I was not with either one of them in the studio.
Okay. Now I want to get into something else.
Timbo.
Your shirt. You tap your chest just where, as I was saying, your shirt.
Uh-huh.
Explain it to me.
Hustle. I realized that hustle can be positive or it can be negative. I can hustle you in a negative way, or I can be on my hustle, which makes it positive. And I was like, since I'm already gonna put your hustle first, if my hustle is what I'm gonna put first, then everything gotta be hustle. So that's what it is. Everything I'm doing now is I'm finna get out here and hustle. I'm finna get back when I feel like I'm owed. I feel like I'm owed a popping music career. I'm owed that because I feel like I done gave so much. I done my part. So I'm gonna have to get out here and hustle and make that happen. I'm a creative. I got products. I have ideas. I feel like I'm owed to the opportunity to have a chance to be successful in that because I've been a giver. I don't think anybody else in this city, nobody else in this city, I'm gonna say that nobody.
That's what I want to hear.
Nobody in this city has given to this city as much as I have. Nobody. Not a council member, not a community activist. Nobody in Austin, Texas has given what Nook has given to this city. And people might not agree with that, but when you look at the facts, go pull the receipts and let history tell the story, you're going to say nobody gave of themselves and sacrificed of themselves as much for this city as I have. Nobody. You can't find nobody in this city that has sacrificed what I've sacrificed for my people in this city besides me dying. And I don't even know if there's been anybody that got killed for our people in this city. Dorothy Turner definitely, through life and her trauma and everything, she embodied a lot of stuff, and she struggled internally, and that may have caused some of the health ailments and what, you know, led her to her demise as far as dying and health. But nobody's giving up their childhood. Nobody's giving up their own career. Nobody's giving up their livelihood. Nobody's giving up their freedom. Nobody has done what Nook Turner has done ever in this city history. Unless you want to go back to when the freedmen settlements, and we'll get to that in a minute, where there were people that died and we lost properties, all that. But I'm talking about current day. There's nobody alive right now that can even say they've done a fraction of what I've done to give back to the city. So I feel like it's my moment, it's my time. And I deserve that, so I got to go put in the work, and I got to hustle to make that shit happen. So that's why it's about the hustle, because ain't nothing going to be given to me. Ain't nobody going to say, oh, that's the Nook from Jump On in here. Nobody going to do that. They didn't do that when I was giving them the love. They ain't going to do it when I'm giving myself the love. Nobody's going to hand me shit, so I got to go out there and make the hustle work for myself and my family now. So everything I do is about the hustle, because I feel like I owe the hustle to myself, I owe it to my family, and I really believe this city owe me. And I'm going to get out there and get it, and nobody going to stop me from getting it. So that's what this hustle is about, and that's why you see the money in the hand, because we are owed. Black people in this city are owed money. Black people in this city are owed land. We're owed restitution. And Nook Turner himself as an artist, I'm owed an opportunity to do that, because I put my whole childhood record deal offers, everything I've had on hold and on the back burner for my city. We had a deal on the table with Warner Brothers. And that's how the Charlie Boy record came about, because this was during the time Kurt Cobain was fish grease, and he was signed to the same rep that I went to New York to meet with about my deal. And that's why I even did the record with Charlie Boy, because that rep was like, you need a female song and you gotta have this and that. And that Charlie Boy record was more of me trying to conform to what the industry wanted me to do. But part of that meeting and part of that whole situation with the Warner Brothers, what I was trying to work on, when I came back to Austin from New York, I took down all of my videos, social media, everything. And the plan was, what I was asking Warner Brothers to give me in the deal, my plan was, they told me I need to move, at that time, 10,000 units. This was like 2011, 2012. So our plan was take everything off social media and do a relaunch, and let's go get this bag. But I brought Jump On It back, and my focus, and I never got there. I never even loaded up the videos and the songs. So at one point, you could Google me and wouldn't even find me online. And here it is, somebody's done so much in the city, and I'm a fucking ghost in so many areas. I'm a memory, I'm a thought, but you can't get on the computer and figure out what it was. And I was like, I gotta start fixing it. The reason I added Turner onto the Nook, because it'd been Nook my whole life, but as an artist, when I became Nook, the Turner came because Barnes & Noble's put out the Nook book. I don't know if you remember that. That was like one of the first tablets ever. It was called the Nook book, the Barnes & Noble tablet.
Man, I don't fuck with no technology.
Anyhow, when you Google Nook at that time, only thing you would see was this tablet that Barnes & Noble put out. So I was not even searchable online. And Nat Turner that's my hero. That's like, I model everything I do, even now with the hustle, after Nat Turner. And I can explain that in depth in a little bit, but yeah. But basically, I said, well, I've been going by Nat Turner as one of my aliases when I do the community work and the activism and all that. Dorothy Turner called me Nat, I called her Harriet. So Nat has always been a part of me and what I feel and all that. So I was like, I'll just call it Nook Turner. And I can play off the Nat Turner thing instead of Nat Turner, Nook Turner. And the other caveat or piece to it is I could make sure that nobody ever forget Dorothy Turner's name, because she don't even get her flowers. Dorothy Turner should be held as one of the greatest blacks ever created and by God in this fucking city. And she not even revered like that in the stuff that she's done and what she sacrificed and her life she gave. So I always like, I'm gonna represent Nat Turner and what that revolt means and what that could mean to our life in this city right now. And I'm gonna also make sure the Dorothy Turner name don't die. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's what. And I've had even battles with some of Dorothy Turner's family members, cause they be like, "You just using our name." No, I'm not. Nook Turner is my artist name, and that's based on Nat Turner, and I got receipts to even prove that. And secondly, you not even representing your goddamn name. You let Dorothy Turner name die in the city. So don't talk to me about keeping one of the greatest human beings ever name alive, because y'all motherfuckers ain't. And that's been my attitude about it since then. So I don't give a damn about nobody. They got nothing to say about Turner, Nook Turner, none of that. Because if you want to get down to it, it ain't even our name. That's a slave owner name. They ain't even us, really. That just have an identifying marker, you know what I'm saying, of who we are right now in this time. But that's not even who we are, where we from. But anyway, that's why the Nook Turner is what it is. And the Nat Turner shit is, I'm on that. I'm going to be on that until I check out this bitch. I just don't believe that everybody got to be a martyr. And I don't believe everybody got to die for shit to change. I believe we had people that did that for us. So if Jesus died for us, why I got to die for us?
True.
If Martin Luther King died for black people, why I got to die for black people? If Malcolm X already died for niggas, why I got to die for them? So that's where I'm at now. I ain't on no martyr shit, on this crash dummy ass shit. Let me get out here and get killed and be a revolutionary. Nah, I'm on the real revolution is living. Because that's what niggas have a problem with doing on this fucking earth, is surviving and living. So we already understand we can die. We already understand that death is imminent. Nobody's gonna get past death. But we don't have to be focused on death. We can focus on life. So what Nook Turner Revolt and what we're doing with Bread City, which is everything I fight for, is for us fighting for life. Us fighting to get to a point where it's not about death. It's not about the struggle. They got us in survival mode. Long as you got a motherfucker in survival mode, you're going to always be able to control them, because they worrying about where their next meal coming from. And we can't worry about what's happening 10 years from now. So long as I'm worrying about right now, I'll never be able to focus on the future. And that's where they got us. They got us stuck in, we got to survive. But the real shit is in thriving. The real shit is in what are you going to be able to set up now that's going to be beneficial 10 years from now? What are you, excuse me, what are you going to do now that's going to be beneficial 100 years from now? But guess who's thinking like that? They are. But they have socially engineered us not to. And you want to get back talking about Austin. This is the capital city in the largest state in the Confederacy Army. Motherfuckers don't understand that. That's one thing. Second thing is, the first ghetto or project, that first experiment on black people was done in Austin, Texas. Rosewood Courts. Projects right off of Rosewood and Chicon was the first housing projects in the United States of America. This is where they first started experimenting on the social engineering and putting us in a ghetto state of mind. So a lot of shit we deal with in this country got its birthplace from Austin. So that means a lot of shit that we need to do to reverse engineer that shit gotta start here in Austin. And that's where the Nook Turner fight is. That's where the struggle is. That's where the hustle gonna be, because black people are owed this city. We built this city. Everything from this city in our research, from the technology to everything that make Austin what it is now, it was built on the backs of blacks. Everything, 100% of it. Not some things, 100%. Even the state capitol itself, built by us.
So when you say the hustle, and you say you owe, and you coming for what's yours, you want yours back, and you say you even thrive, and you have products. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm looking at the table right here.
Mm-hmm.
December 17th, mm-hmm. You dropped the box.
I dropped the hustle box.
The hustle box.
Yep, right here.
Explain to me what the hustle box is.
The hustle box was one way to not only fundraise, but another way to give people something they've been missing from me the entire time. And that was my music, and that was me. The essence of what make me who I am, I was not giving that to people. I was believing that was not important to people, and not realizing that was the most important thing to people was me. My personality, my energy, my passion, my spirit, I wasn't giving that to people. So this hustle box here was my way of saying, I'm gonna put a nice bundle together that's gonna give you Nook Turner. Who is Nook Turner? Okay, I have my own cologne. So I'm gonna give you my fragrance and my smell and my shit that I spray on me that make me get up every morning and say, I'm finna take over this world. Cause if you smell like money, you look like money, then your mind gonna manifest and bring money. So I want to give you my smell.
How did you go get your smell? How did you design your cologne?
Well, my mama been doing fragrances, body oils, natural hair and skin products for years. My mama a hustler. So my mama already know the game on how to do it. We were talking about doing it years ago and making it happen. We just never wasn't able to make it happen. So I had been pushing my wife to do the Shea Pro fragrance and do that same thing and kind of have a product and do that. And so the Nook Turner came about basically because I was like, you know what, people deserve to see what that is. And so I got with my wife, I said, hey, put something together and let's make it work. And I worked on it, she worked on it, and then we brought, a secret agent in. We brought in my mama, and my mama helped, meld it all together and give us the game that we didn't know on it. And we were able to create that, in our factory at the crib. We got a whole lab in the back that, we call it the MP room. But that's where a lot of magic happened as far as creating products and all that. And so we got all of the necessary things we needed. We got on the computer and started ordering things from overseas and figuring it out. My wife is my teammate and my partner, and she helped figure it out, and we basically produced it ourselves. At first, we were like, maybe she white label it. I was like, nah, they got to smell me. When they spray this, they got to feel like I feel in the morning. And how I feel when I get up in the morning is ain't nothing going to stop me from being what I'm supposed to be today. I don't give a damn what happened. Ain't nothing going to stop me from being what I'm supposed to be. And so I was like, that's my energy. So I wanted to give people that energy through a fragrance. You feel me? So we did it all at the house. We ordered everything she manufactured. Now, once it take off, because I know it will, we're not going to do it at the house, but we will own the chemical makeup of that, what is those fragrances.
Okay.
So we will eventually mass produce it, but right now, getting our feet wet, my wife is over there, the mad scientist in there, putting it all together. You know what I'm saying? It was a team effort between me, her, and T-Lady.
Okay.
On doing that. So you're going to get the Nook Turner cologne, you're going to get the Shea Pro. And that was really what I was on with fragrances at first, because we're doing the Shea Pro festivals and edifying, our great females in the city, having a perfume just made sense, And the whole thing about, we wanted something that make you feel good when you spray it on you, and you could have all these different things that come with that. So my wife put that together. Same deal. My mom came in as the, as a superpower at the end and saved the day to make sure it was what it was supposed to be. So I wanted to give the men something, and I wanted to give the females something. And then I came up with this idea for upper frequency. This was during COVID when I came up with the idea, because
I can vouch for this, because I did drink some of this, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something else. I didn't say nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but when she was like, "Oh, let me get something to drink," and you said, you know what? Take his can. He ain't gonna drink it. Yeah, I am gonna drink it.
I got you a fresh one there.
Yeah.
You icy.
Yeah, I like it. And just so y'all know, it's only 5 calories in there too for y'all that's trying to watch out. Weight gains and stuff like that. You can have 2-3 of those and still not have what's in one of a Red Bull. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And that was the thing, is I wanted to create a healthy energy drink. I wanted, the original idea was for the youth and the athletics and all that, to put you on the upper frequency, put your mind on higher, going higher. So I was like, I'm gonna create a health drink that could rival Gatorade or any of those, but it got healthy things to it. And we was dealing with COVID and all that. I want to have something that have vitamins in it. So if you drink it or whatever, you're gonna get the vitamins and stuff you need to help you be healthy. So my original thing, I was calling it the virus killer, and all that. Was like, nah, we don't do that. But I decided to go for this run just with the energy drink side of it, just to kind of test the market on it. But I have a juice it's all natural, healthy, everything. And in March, I'm going to actually release the upper frequency juice. So UF or upper frequency is going to be all of our drink products and all of that stuff. And everything I do is always going to have a message, or it's going to have something positive underlining it that give you a meaning, to give you something to move forward on. So it's like I'm going to give them my energy drink. And then all the boxes come with a flash drive in it that have
that's what I want to get into.
The flash drive has my entire catalog on it. Stuff that people's never heard before. My new album, The Hustle, is on that as well.
Hold on, The Hustle drops January 6th?
No, I pushed that back. So originally it was January 6th.
Okay.
But I'm going to go next week and I'm going to announce a new date, but it's going to be mid to late January.
Okay.
When you can get it online, the Hustle box are available now. You go to nookturner.com and get you a Hustle box now. You can get that catalog and that album now. But for those that want to stream it on all the DSPs and all of that, that'll be out mid to late January. But yeah, definitely giving you my catalog with all the songs, and then you'll realize, okay, he really been doing this.
I want to let you know it's a genius marketing move too. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
People that say they rock with you or claim I love your music, this, that, and the third. When you announced you was dropping that box on the 17th and you was gonna have them with you at the venues and stuff, that's their opportunity right there to give you a flower.
Yeah, and it was done.
Because it's unreleased music.
Yes.
And then plus you got the new album that's getting ready to drop. I wouldn't have dropped it on the 6th either. Let the people that actually bought one of these boxes
let them have that.
Get their appreciation.
Yeah.
Let them listen to it for a little bit first before you give it to everybody.
Yeah. Everything work out for a reason. So, no, I've been getting a lot of love from everything we've done. And I take all the love and all the information and all the feedback and just make it better. So, The Hustle is about to drop mid to late January. The Hustle 1. Hustle 2 is coming out on my birthday, March 18th. And we're actually going to do another Hustle event. And I'm doing my big Austin Sneaker Summit that we do every year. So, yeah. So
nobody rocking, ain't nobody touching me.
What? You got to come out on the 18th then.
No, PRH, right?
Mm-hmm.
Polo, Retro, Hydro.
I'm fucking with it. Okay.
All I rock is retros.
Yeah, I hadn't seen them in a minute. It's been like 2 or 3 sneaker summits since I seen them.
Yeah, all the labs, all that.
You might have to come out and just have a showcase booth.
I got you.
Just to show, yeah. And I've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years now, and that's been huge. So we're gonna do it on March 18th. Mark your calendars. March 18th, we're gonna have the Austin Sneaker Summit, the Blogger Fest, the Hustle Part 2, and Nook Turner's birthday bash. That's all doing South by. Now, last South by on my birthday, I got a chance to perform at the Vibe Music Showcase.
I saw you do an interview.
Did an interview with the Vibe magazine, and that was dope, and I was excited about that. Shout out to B Hobbs and South by Southwest for really throwing me the alley hoop on that and putting me on, because they didn't have to. I didn't have to pay nothing. It wasn't no pay to get on. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Just the love.
Just the love. And so this year, though, I don't know where I'm going to be at on South by. Hopefully they don't book me on the 18th for nothing. If they do, I'm going to just be at one place and then come to the other. But our events are going to happen regardless, and I'm excited about it because I get a chance to drop Hustle 2. But what's important to me about Hustle 2 is it proves to me that I've continued to be consistent. Because see, this Hustle 1, this is the first time I've dropped a real full album that I'm going to promote. And since 2012. Yeah, that part.
All right, so give me an exclusive. Give me one exclusive.
Okay.
Is this all you on this, or you got features on this?
Can't tell you.
Oh, man.
Can't tell you. You're going to have to hear it and see what it is. Can't tell you.
You got somebody crazy on there?
But small known fact, I got something with Snoop Dogg. Small known fact, I got something with Gucci Mane.
Let me give you a small known fact. I party with Snoop in Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
one of the craziest nights of my life. First off, I thought he was finna come out there and really like rock that bitch.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
This nigga didn't perform a single song.
It was his concert? What was it?
He walked up there, stood on stage, big ass thing of Patron, started passing shots out.
Seen it.
And then he fucking DJ'd for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, awesome.
That bitch was going crazy.
That's better than him performing. Awesome. So
Shit was nuts.
I opened up for him at the Austin Music Hall when that was here, and that was one of the biggest. At that time, that was one of the biggest things you could do as an Austin artist was play the Austin Music Hall, but then not only open up for him at the Austin Music Hall, I was the act right before he went on. Some of these Austin niggas hate it. They ain't like it. I had to knock out an Austin artist over it.
At the show?
At the show prior to that, but it was because of that show, because of that upcoming show. So I went through some drama, but let me get back on the positive. Let me get back on the positive side of this. On the positive side of it is when I performed, Snoop and all of them came out the dressing room to see who I was. And then I got a chance to meet his uncle, R.I.P. Uncle Junebug, and
That's my granddad's name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that that birthed the situation that like, I always rock with Snoop, and I always felt that. Then I got the opportunity to actually go out of town on doing his tour stops and tour, and so we did San Antonio, and we did the Selma Arena. Now that's the thing about I think what it's called. It was the amphitheater in Selma. Forget the name of it, but again, if you're an artist and you rap on that stage, you've arrived. And I got a chance to go and open up for Snoop, but not only open up for Snoop, bring all my people that was with me, and we did like an hour-long set. Crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like opportunities like that I cherish, and my only regrets is I didn't fight through some of the adversities to continue to keep that party going. I started building up so much momentum during that time that we had 4 record labels trying to sign me. And I learned at that time that all the major labels are here. We forget that Austin is like a major city when it comes to the music.
Independent music capital.
Even one of the largest publishing companies is here. But all the labels are here. So Warner Brothers from here, Warner Brothers was called like, hey, we need to meet. And, I had an opportunity, not a crazy shit, but make a long story short, one of my major setbacks was my first album I actually dropped was called Get Ready. And my idea for the Get Ready cover, after so many different variations, was for me to be in this big ass explosion. Like, I'm finna blow up. Like, I knew it. Like, I'm finna speak this shit real, and my cover gonna show me blowing up. We go all the way to LA. Me, my mom, and my manager, cousin that was helping manage at the time, Philip. We go to LA. We got 4 labels. Well, like we coming home from LA rich. This our moment. Guess what day all the meetings were set up to be on? September 11th, 2001. We woke up to the fact that the world was in chaos. We've been attacked. And my question to my mama, are we still gonna have our meetings? And she was like, nah, ain't no meetings. That shit ain't nobody on that. And that fucked me up because we was all the way in LA. We got stuck in LA, and then I was up there like finally realizing my dream was I knew it, and it was like, and then like I told you, my album cover had an explosion.
And
We get a call from the distributor. All the stores are recalling your shit. Like they
parallel universe.
Send everything back because it has an explosion on it, and everybody's explosive sensitive. So if you can re-press up the CD, and it was doing CD time, so if you can re-press up all these units and send them back without the explosion, it's back on for you. Had no money to do that. Ain't got nobody to call to say, hey, I need $50,000 to redo So I had to take all them CDs and go get in the streets with them and sell them in the streets. And shout out to my DKC homies at the time and people that rock with the Nook Turner Street Team. Well, it was Nook Street Team then because I wasn't Nook Turner then. And we had to sell those CDs just to break even so I could pay back an investor. Shout out Tony Flowers. To get him straight so he didn't get caught lost in it. And then my Uncle Emmett had invested. I had to pay him money back. And once I got, that squared away, we was even, but I ain't had no product or no money. And the world was shook because 9/11 left a definite stain. And I was in the middle of fighting to say jump on it at that time because I had been indicted. So it was like doing those things I was going through, I did make sure I stayed doing music.
So with all this shit that's done happened, what makes you still feel like, how do you not lose your passion for this shit? People don't appreciate the free shows. They don't appreciate the positions you done put them in, the free game you done gave them, the losses that you done had to take, the stresses that came into your family over this type of shit. What makes you still get up every day and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go get this shit with the music and this shit. Why not just focus on just pumping your brand?
Because I believe in God. I know God is real. And I know I was here to be a giver. I just I never appreciated or accepted the fact I was also here to be a receiver. So now as being a giver, because I'm always gonna be a giver first, I'm gonna also be open to being a receiver. Where before it ain't about me receiving nothing, so let me close that door. Because if I was about being a receiver then, it'd be a whole different ballgame. I didn't understand that. So God, me believing in God and me understanding that God had all this for a reason, and I'm meant to get what he told me I was gonna get. He told my mama a long time ago, your son gonna be able to lead thousands of people. Your son is gonna be able to lead masses of people to the kingdom. And my mama always told me that from a kid. They used to think when I was a kid I was gonna be a preacher. And my mama, I was gonna be a preacher. And I caught the Holy Ghost for the first time when I was 9 years old. I didn't know what the hell that was. That shit just hit me. And my cousin DJ was right there, and it was like, I went through a whole different transition, but after that, I started being able to see stuff different. And I started realizing, man, this is real. Because I didn't know what happened with that. And excuse me, I might not have been 9. I was around somewhere between 9 and 13. And that, so I don't want to get the dates. But I started seeing things different. And I started being given visions and how things are. And my mom used to always tell me, you're going to be great. And you're going to lead the masses to a situation. I always believed that, and I started seeing that. And so now where I'm at now is I know my mission is to lead people to Bread City. And you're like, what is Bread City? Bread City is heaven on earth. Because when you think of wealth, you think of bread. When you think of food, you think of bread. You think of, when you think of heaven, you think of the land of milk and honey. You think of not wanting ever again and being happy. And I feel like as people on earth, we deserve that here. Why we don't have heaven on earth? Why we never taught that you can fight to get to heaven on earth? Even though that won't be the ultimate heaven, but why can't we have a heaven on earth? We've always taught that if you feel heaven on earth or have a feeling that it's evil, because most of the pleasures that we have as human beings, if you don't do it in a way that religion tell you to do it, then it's sin and it's not right. And like, why can't we have heaven? And then you start looking deeper in with black people. You're like, well, why black people can't have heaven? Why black people always have to be at the bottom? Why does even something black have to be looked at as negative? Why does the connotation of black cat, bad luck? Black market is bad. The black sheep, blacklisted. Everything you attach black to have to be bad. And I was like, it has to be something that we can fight to get to a point where we have joy and we're content on earth. And Bread City is that mentality of, I'm going to be in a city of bread. I'm going to be in a city of milk and honey. What that means on earth is we're going to get financially free. So we're not fighting for finances no more. We're not struggling and surviving, we thriving. So we're gonna get bread. But then we're gonna also be free from all the things that keep us from maximizing our potential. So what is Bread City? Bread City first is a state of mind that breaks open your consciousness to be able to accomplish whatever you was put here to accomplish without any boundaries, any chains, and any problems. And once we start getting these kids and the youth to understand that they can have Bread City in their mind, watch where they take them. And then on the finances side, we built America. Black people was in America before the Spaniards and the Europeans were in America. We was already habitants here, and this was taken from us. And then they took it from us, and then we built it to fit their vision now. This is our shit. So why we don't have a piece of the pie? Why we at the bottom of the totem pole in every stat, in every disparity, we're at the bottom, and it's like, nah, black people supposed to be at the top. Same way black people built the Capitol in Austin. Guess who built the Capitol in Washington, D.C.? Exactly, we built this shit. But we don't reap those benefits. And we might get pat on the back and now get a federal holiday, but are black people winning? No. Are some individual black people look like they're winning? Yes, but as a collective, are we winning? No. And when we were ever a collective and winning, they burned it down, bombed it, and blew it up. Every time as a collective that black people have won in this country, they've taken it from us. Every single time. The only thing we're allowed to do is play a sport or entertain them. Anything we start to do as a collective, even in a sport, if we start becoming a collective in the sport, they're gonna take that from us. And they own it, so we don't even own the fucking sport. The sports that we make great American pastimes, we don't even own them, but we bring the most value to it. We are the star in the spotlight that bring the crowd, and yet we get the lowest amount of pay and rewards for doing it. And Bread City is a way of, we're gonna get out of that shit. We're gonna start owning our own shit. Like my kids, I got 5 kids, and what I tell them every day and all the time, y'all ain't never gonna work for nobody but yourself and your parents. That's it. We're gonna own shit. We're not gonna be the sellers, the buyers anymore. We're gonna be the sellers. Because all our life we've been nothing but buyers. We bought the lie that we free. We really ain't free. Because if we realize we weren't free, then we still fight for freedom. We bought the lie that black is bad. We bought the lie that we gotta be in the ghetto and we gotta struggle. We bought the lie that if I don't have no street cred, I ain't shit. We bought the lie that we gotta go to jail to prove we real. And we bought all these lies. And I tell my kids, I tell everybody, what we gotta get to is we gotta get to the point where we're not the buyers anymore, we're the sellers. And that's what the hustle is about. Make sure that shit is good. That's good? That's what the hustle is about. The hustle is about, we're gonna be the hustlers on this side, and this side we're gonna be the sellers. And we're gonna take y'all money that y'all got from us and just give it back to us. All the hustlers doing is just give back what they took from me in the first place. That's it. Jump on it right now. Only thing Jump On is doing is giving me back what it took from me in the first place. That's what Jump On is doing. So anybody got any problem with anything I've ever done with Jump On It, you would never trade places with me and take the sacrifices and go through what I went through to make that even possible. And now I'm at the point that all the losses I took from that, because I've always taken a loss from Jump On It, financially definitely. But music-wise and life-wise, I took bigger losses. So all those losses I took during those times, bring that back. Bring me my coins. I don't give a fuck how old I am. I can be 80 years old and bring my coins. Nigga, why you still rapping? You old. Hey, man. Because I sat on the sideline for 10 years and let y'all trash ass niggas get on stage. Knowing y'all that y'all suck, but saying maybe this is make y'all want to work hard and not suck, I sat back. So give me my 10 years back, brother. I'll give my 5 years back, I done that. Give my time back, bro. Right now I'm 13. I'm a new artist. Finna be the hottest nigga out here. Y'all not gonna fuck with me. Why? Because I done already done my time. I done already did my give back. So this is old to me, and I understand that prayer means nothing without work. So this hustle, I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna pray, and I know I'm gonna get what I'm supposed to get. I never got that. My mama never got what she was owed. My mama gave birth to the greatest motherfucker ever created on the earth. That's what I believe, and she ain't got nothing from that investment yet. Fuck that. Fuck that. It's time to pay them dividends. It's on. So in order to get that and do that, they gotta be about the hustle. And then my kids understand we gotta hustle. Ain't nothing given to us. And nobody owe us nothing. Let's go get it. And for the ones that actually owe us something, we gonna treat it like they don't until we kick their door down and take it back. And then when they say, why did you take that from us? Oh, because that was already mine. We O.J. Simpson all over again without the fucking American law being involved. All O.J. did in Vegas was go back and take shit that was already his and then went to jail for the shit. We gonna go to jail for this shit because ain't no law saying I can't get out here and take all my lessons, take all my drama, take all my hurt, take all my pain, take all my sacrifices, and go back and get what's owed to me. I ain't breaking no laws doing that. What OJ fucked up is he broke laws of Las Vegas laws. I ain't breaking no laws, but I'm gonna have the same mentality that when they held them niggas up in that room with them guns, nobody leave until I get my shit back. That's where I am right now on my hustle. Ain't nobody gonna prosper in this city without giving me my shit back. Love Quinn. Quinn is a great artist. I got turned on to Quinn from the Jump On It teams when they was showing me his SoundCloud shit and he was getting 30, 40, 50,000 fucking hits on his SoundCloud. Before the talking about shit video and before he got the internet numbers on YouTube and all that, the teams was already fucking with him. So he built and he did his shit. So I never take nothing from Lil Quinn, from nothing he doing. But at the same time, platforms that Quinn was able to thrive on and that Quinn was able to do his shit on in this city, that shit came from Nook Turner. Even before Quinn really blew, I brought him on to Jump On It. And he already had a relationship with Kurt Cobain, D. Will, all them. And I didn't even notice. I looked up and Kurt Cobain was bringing Quinn out on his set. Beautiful, because I didn't know nothing about that. But I was able to share my platform with him. You feel me? And I don't get that love back. Because I hit him up trying to get him to get a song from him. I ain't get that love back. But prior to me bringing him to Jump On It, he was in my inbox. Yo, let me get on your show. Got receipts for anything I tell you. I'm cool with that. Put him on because I ain't tripping. But I never got that love in return when I reached out to get a verse. But it could have been all the hype, all that shit. So I don't knock nothing he do. Only thing that I can say is we've been engineered now in the music game to be so much on money, and I understand that some things are more valuable than money. Relationships is more valuable than money. So now if I talk to any of them, it's $3K. Get that's fine, bro. I'm not gonna do $3,000, but you don't realize with me, you might be missing out on something that's way more valuable. Because anything that I touch and I do, I'm gonna put my heart on it. And for a nigga like me to put my heart on shit, people that put their heart on shit tend to draw to that same energy, and you run into real shit that end up happening. That's why Nook Turner never died. That's why I never, and I say down, I ain't talking about physically, I'm talking about my name, Jump On It, never died. We celebrated 25 years of Jump On It this year. Jump On It never died. My music never died. My opportunities never died.
You said you had an announcement.
Yeah.
What's the announcement?
I can't make the announcement. Bring me back, and we'll make that announcement.
When do you need to be back in order to make it?
Bring me back in March. Let this circulate. Get this bitch up to 1 million views or more. And I'll come back with info because it's gonna be everything I'm gonna say is being matriculated by then to where it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But everything is on the table for me right now. I gotta go out there and get it. That's why I said I'm calling shit the hustle. Cause I gotta go hustle and get it. And I already did a song with Mo 3 talking about put your hustle first. So what's the first thing I gotta put out? My hustle. So got the hustle box, got products. You can go to nookturner.com and rock with me. Got shows, everything. And Trina actually brought me out when they came to Austin in December for, I think it was called a Jingle Jam at the Cedar Park Center. crazy. Rapping in front of thousands of people from the city. You know how many people inboxed me that was so happy to see me on stage? Nobody expected it because I didn't expect it. I didn't know that was going to happen.
How did that happen? What happened?
Shit, it's my daughter's birthday, so I reach out to them like, hey, I just need you to do a shout out for my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Do something for my daughter. We'll bring her to the show, just, fuck a night up, like, yeah. And it turned to a conversation of her doing the record. And that turned into a conversation of she gonna do the record, but if she not able to really know all the words, we'll figure something out. I'm like, okay, I don't know what we gonna do, how we gonna do it. And it was like I was there, we was backstage, and she was doing her show, and she was like, I'm gonna bring my boy Nook out. I'm sorry, I know motherfuckers, they don't even call me Nook Turner. Cause they know before all that Turner shit and all that. So it was like, whoa, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Right. And I was standing on the side like, oh man. And this crazy with Hustle First is I hadn't even rapped it in a while. I didn't even remember the words to it. So it was like I hadn't even prepared for that moment to even know that moment would be that. But they brought me out and handed me the mic, and she was gonna walk off. And I like, hey, come here. And, had to do the birthday stuff for my daughter, and you know what I'm saying, they turned the record on. I was like, I gotta do it. I looked at her, just see thousands of people. I was like, it's supposed to be like that. And this is just this past December. And that was prior to the Hustle event, so it gave me momentum moving into that event. It's like, it's supposed to be this way. This is how it's supposed to be. That was like my affirmation, you know what I'm saying, being this way you're supposed to be is on these stages. You know what I'm saying? And to see Trina's story and to see her doing this for 20 years and still moving, and see her get Lifetime Achievement Awards this past year for BET, and her still being relevant with the younger audience, and that's another affirmation. Like, I don't got no excuse. I just got to do it. Don't let Jump On It get in the way of it this time. Make Jump On It part of the way. And that's what I am with Jump On It now. So one of those announcements, when I come back, is going to be the Jump On It shit. Jump On It finna be it's going to be a whole monster on its own. And it's being set up now to be a monster with or without Nook. Because Nook Turner and Jump On are two separate things. And I fucked up in the past by making it one thing. And then let Jump On It consume Nook. So Jump On It finna be its own thing. But to talk about the Austin music scene, Austin is known as a festival city, right? I believe, I'm gonna say believe, because I don't have all the receipts in my head or at my fingertip, but they're there. Jump On It gave birth to Austin being a festival city. And not birthed in the symbolic way of, we was doing festivals and then people caught on. No. There was one part of history in Jump On It where the city was trying to take Jump On It from me. The only way you could stop finances coming from the city during that time is to put someone under criminal investigation. So they withheld money a month before Jump On It was supposed to be starred because I was under a criminal investigation. That year, and that was prior to Dorothy Turner's, that year we went to city council and made City Hall give the biggest investment they've ever given a black program in the history of the city. And that was to Jump On It. And that coming up year to Jump On It, I think we were going to get, it was like 82,000. I think the total thing was 182,000. But the numbers that we were going to get to do a program on the east side for black people in the community was a number that you've never heard of. And this is back in 2002. So if you think of 200,000 back then, not what 200,000 is now, it's a whole different situation. And by them putting me under criminal investigation and me going through what I went through with the city with that, the city had already agreed that that money was going towards that event, that community event, which was known as Jump On. When they didn't give me that money, they opened up a citywide call to anybody that want to do a festival. There's now a big ass pocket of money for it to happen. And you start seeing all of these festivals through Austin start being birthed, and you found out they all were taking part of these mini grants that the city gave out that was originally allotted and given for Jump On It. So a lot of these festivals got their start or got their big push and catapult from Jump On It. A lot of people don't know that. I did an interview in the Austin Chronicle and spoke on it a little bit, but I really believe that Austin would be the festival city it is now if you didn't have 182,000 or whatever the number was. I remember the exact number. If you didn't have that money at the time, go out to an open call in the city for people to utilize money for festivals, because at that time that money was not there like that. And that's Jump On It really made Austin what it is now as far as festival city and all. And I stand on that. If anybody ever want to debate or talk to me about it, we can together go pull all the receipts and we can look at every festival that got started during that time or that started really moving big at that time and where we are now. And just the idea of Austin giving that money out like that, if nothing else alone, opened it up for this to become a festival type city. And people don't know that and don't even know the history on that, but all that money that was allotted went out to multiple organizations in the city to do many festivals.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming tonight.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
definitely gonna have you back. We're gonna look at it.
Okay.
I need you back. Don't come back the day before and drop the announcement. I want the exclusive. Like, I want to be the only person that knows the announcement first.
So when I get the information, we'll set that up because it may be way prior to March.
As soon as you know,
Okay.
you let me know, and we're going to get it set up. We're going to get you back in here, and we're going to make it happen.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right.
Appreciate y'all having me. NookTurner.com. Rock with me. NookTurner.com. ENOOK Turner. TURNER.com. And yeah, man, you hear me, I'm here. So I appreciate you rocking with me, and everybody get on your hustle. That's what it's about.
Appreciate you for coming. Appreciate your
Oh, yeah.
professionalism.
Yeah, we locked
You know
in.
what I mean?
We locked in.
For life, I got you. Anything you need from me, my platform, my people, if I can do it, I'm going to make it happen for you.
Let's do it.
I mean, Cushion Convo, man. Nook Turner, y'all check him out, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.